Welcome to Spark It Up Tuesday here at Spark Business Consulting on a very cold, slushy, gross, rainy, snowy, weird day. But on a better note, we're going to talk about working from home today. And I'm going to talk about my experience with that. Does not work at all for me. But the blog that is going to be written to accompany this is actually going to be authored by our VA, our virtual assistant, who does work from home. She's out on the West Coast, and she has a completely different viewpoint on it, and I love that. So stay tuned for the blog when that's going to come out by the end of the week. But right now, I'm just going to talk about my story. So when I started Spark, I think about 13 years ago now, I definitely started out of my home, of course, right? There'd be no reason why I couldn't do bookkeeping from my house, or I also then went to clients' offices and did their books for them there. And that I knew right away, at least within the first 6 months, that that wasn't what I wanted. That wasn't the vision for the business that I wanted. And I knew that I couldn't stay working from home, but I had I had one small child. I hadn't had my second child yet. So I was kind of torn about that. But as that year, the first and second years progressed, it got increasingly harder for me to be able to work from home because I felt torn. And I'm wondering if other people can relate to that when you have especially children at home and they want your attention. Maybe not all day. My kids are older now, so they only need it for my attention for maybe 5 or 10% of the day. Now they're so independent. But when they need it, I feel like they deserve to have it. So when I'm home, I'm in home mode, right? So I am available to my kids for whatever they need. I am in laundry mode, I'm in cooking mode, I'm in personal novel reading mode, I'm in whatever Netflix show I want to binge mode. Like that's a mode for me to be in. And so for me, when I step through the front door of my house, I just become that person. You know, what does Casey want? Not Casey the boss, just little old Casey want. Mom, wife, Casey want. And I can't mix the two. I don't have that skill set. And if you do and you can do it, I think that's awesome. But if you are struggling with that, then maybe you can relate to my story because it was extremely hard for me. And what I knew was happening was I was half-assing both. I was a half-ass wife and mother, and I was a half-ass business person because I was home and I was mixed in everything, and it just didn't work for me. And it's unfortunate because I have many colleagues that own businesses just like Spark all across the country that I work with and network with for different reasons. And I'd say almost all of them, or definitely more than half, do work from home. And they have teams that also work remotely from their homes, and it works fine for them, works great for them. And I'd probably save a ton of money if I didn't have the offsite office that we have with all the different workstations and computers and all the things that come with having an offsite office. I wouldn't have those expenses necessarily being at home, right? I wouldn't be where I am today if I did that. I need to have that separate building, separate structure away from my house. For me, it can't be a barn in the backyard. I'd still be connected to the house where when I walk through the front door of my office, I am Casey Anton, businesswoman. My sole focus when I am here is on the vision of my business, on taking care of my employees, on making sure our clients are getting the love that they deserve. I am 100% in it when I am here. And I think for me, that is what our driving force has been. And that's why our sales are up over 600% from when we start. Well, that's 600% in the last 3 years. We just keep growing and growing and growing. And I do attribute, for me, a lot of that being able to recognize that although it was convenient and cheaper and somewhat a little easier to just stay at home and work from home, I knew it wasn't going to get me where I wanted to go. I know that I need certain barriers around me, and I needed a different type of vision, and I needed to physically be away from my home life to actually really focus on growing this business. And I was right. And it was intuition speaking, but I did it. So that's my story, short and sweet on working from home. It doesn't work for me. And that's not to say that if I am home, like I had to go home for a half day of a school day yesterday, that I won't answer a couple of emails. That's pretty much the extent of what I will do though, because even then, I know my emails are not the same emails that I'd be writing back if I were in my office. I'm just in a different mode and mindset when I'm at home, and I'm 100% there for what my home needs, my dog, my kids, my kitchen, my laundry, all those things. Um, so I focus on coming to the office and just trying to be a rock star every day. So that works for me. But our VA, who is wonderful and amazing, works from home. She has a baby at home, and I believe Wolf is 9 years old, that she homeschools, and she's able to do it. And she has her own ways and how she kind of separates things out and gets her work done. And she does fantastic work. So she's going to write a blog about that. Again, coming out the end of this week to get another take on working from home. But if you'd like to comment on this and tell us, what your thoughts are on that, we'd love to hear from you. So thanks so much for watching. Have a great week.